What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a WWE star fired, Kairi Sane suffers a nasty eye injury, WWE warns its wrestlers, when is a Solo vs Cody rematch happening, the reason for Punk's strong win in Berlin, what happened after Raw, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. As always, we won't recap the show, but just look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number one, thanks for the advice, rookie. Now, will Jey Uso earn the shot to challenge Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental Championship? While that remains to be seen, Bron's backstage confrontation with Jey suggests Breakker isn't looking forward to facing main event Jey. Otherwise, why would he try and intimidate Jey into dropping out of the tournament? This segment worked well, with Jey showing his toughness by passing on Breakker's offer and telling him, "Thanks for the advice, rookie." A great comeback that hopefully won't come back to haunt Jey should he wrestle Bron. Number two, a Dynamite debut for Joe Tessitore. Joe Tessitore's debut was everything you could hope for and more. He's known for calling football and other sports on ESPN, but he managed to seamlessly transition to calling them at action, impressing fans and giving them hope that the WWE is a new star in the broadcast booth. Number three, Unholy Union get an important win. Is the WWE sending the Unholy Union back to the bottom of the tag ranks now that they're no longer women's tag team champions? Well, apparently not, as Alba Fire and Isla Dawn won against Damage Control, one of the WWE's best teams. Hopefully, Fire and Dawn will get another run with the titles, as they bring a lot to the table and a skilled team with an eclectic look. Number four, more magnificent Intercontinental Championship qualifier matches. Things are heating up as the WWE's undercard vie for a shot at Bron Breakker's IC Championship. The WWE is taking its time finding a new challenger for Breakker, which makes the title seem more prestigious and more importantly gives the WWE opportunities to push superstars who have been on the sidelines. Number five, Sami vs Gunther might work. Fans have great expectations for Gunther's next opponent following his commanding win over Randy Orton, so why not book him against Sami Zayn again? On paper, Zayn has no chance of winning, but this match could work if the WWE continues stressing that Zayn is the only main roster superstar to defeat him. While few fans expect Sami to win, this change of pace from Orton could just work. Number six, Jey and Damian team explained. And why did Jey Uso team up with someone who has put him through the ringer for the last year? While Jey's decision to help former Judgment Day member Damian Priest was influenced by main event Jey's fondness for Priest's pal Rhea Ripley, Jey also knows what it's like to be on a new roster, to be alone and to have a reputation for doing bad things. Jey's explanation made sense, furthered his storyline with Rhea Ripley, and made for a fantastic tag match. Number seven, a night and day division. Raw and SmackDown's booking of the women's tag division are polar opposites, with the Red Brand featuring multiple matches and making sure there are storylines driving each match. As SmackDown, by comparison, gives the women's tag ranks little time, and when they do, the matches usually mean little or nothing. And number 8, McIntyre mauls Punk. A CM Punk's announcement that he wants a match with World Heavyweight Champion Gunther proved premature, as Drew McIntyre ambushed Punk. McIntyre mauled Punk and doubled down on his hate fest for Punk by destroying Punk's friendship bracelet and stuffing the contents in his mouth. Drew took things further by attacking Punk while he was still being stretchered out. Given how much Drew despises Punk, it's surprising he didn't run him over with a tractor trailer or tip the ambulance over. Regardless, this will definitely set up the next match at Bad Blood, which rumor has it will be in a Hell in a Cell match. That was a good. What about the bad? Is number one, enough American Made vs Alpha Academy matches. The American Made vs Alpha Academy needs to end, and needs to end now. As talented as both teams are, there's simply no point in continuing this feud unless the WWE is using it to change Alpha Academy's players, perhaps by having Otis turn heel. Alpha Academy are a likable faction who should move on to something new, and preferably a program that involves them winning rather than counting the lights night after night. Number 2, is there any point to Wyatt 6 vs American Alpha program? Speaking of redundant, is there any point to the Wyatt 6 vs American Alpha program? While the WWE needed to give Uncle Howdy's ghoulish group some cannon fodder to get wins over, it's difficult to imagine any further use for this program unless the WWE has no plans for the Wyatt 6 right now. If so, that's a very bad sign for the fan favorite faction's future. Now, there was nothing downright ugly. Another solid Raw that entertained fans from intro to the outro, with exciting matches, sizzling segments, and captivating promos. Another example of 3 hours going by quickly due to the extraordinary writing and performances. What did you guys think of the Red Brand last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our top story looks at a WWE star fired. Our first story is a WWE star unexpectedly removed and possibly released. Atop of today's news are the baffling reports that the WWE appears to have removed Odyssey Jones from its roster and that he may be gone from the WWE for good. Jones debuted on the main roster in August and was put into a major program with the New Day's Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, a sign that the WWE had big plans for him. However, multiple news sites report that Jones's WWE profile was either removed or deleted. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted on Monday that Odyssey Jones is no longer listed on the WWE roster page. I got a message yesterday saying I should ask if there was a change in his status, but I haven't heard back from WWE yet. Talent I've talked to have been surprised by him being off the roster page. Jones was also absent from last night's Raw, fueling speculation about his status. There were comments on the Wrestling Observer Radio about the situation. I am relatively certain he is done, although it's not been confirmed anywhere. I heard a bunch of stories, but nothing I would say is confirmed. It looks like he's no longer with the company. He's off, he's gone. As part is the reason why, I think that will come out or whatever it is. Obviously he was in for a push. It was nothing to do how he was getting over. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select also gave an update on his Patreon site, as Odyssey Jones was removed from the WWE roster page on Monday, leading to heavy speculation about his status. Fightful was given a heads up on Sunday that Odyssey's status had changed with the company, but weren't given clarification. It was confirmed to Fightful on Monday afternoon that Odyssey Jones wasn't at WWE Raw and was not factored into creative plans for that evening. Beyond that, it was also noted to Fightful that Odyssey Jones was not at last week's Raw and was not in immediate creative plans, with no further context provided. Last week, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods referenced Odyssey without mentioning him by name whatsoever. Talent we've spoken with haven't heard from WWE about what is going on with Odyssey Jones. Fightful reached out to WWE in official capacity and have not heard back. For those asking, his removal from WWE's website is not a glitch. But in a further update from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, he mentioned in a tweet, Odyssey Jones was removed from WWE TV when domestic violence allegations came to light, Fightful has learned. We've not heard of any arrest or charges being pressed in relation to the situation. We've reached out to WWE for comment as well as clarification on his status. Talent had not been informed of the situation. And now in a breaking update, Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer Live mentioned that Odyssey Jones has now been fired by WWE. Now, there's not been a press release or anything like that, but I've been told Odyssey Jones is fired. There are rumors online, also from Fightful, that it was a domestic violence allegation. Apparently no arrests at this point, but I was told fired. So that's it for Odyssey Jones. Next up, Kairi Sane's nasty eye injury. It's time for an update on Damage Control's Kairi Sane, who had a nasty eye injury during a match on Raw. In case you missed it, Sane dove off the top rope outside to the ring during a match against the Unholy Union. Unfortunately, Sane's head bounced off the announce table, busting her open. PW Insider Elite is reporting on Kairi's condition, saying, for those who have asked for an injury update on Kairi Sane, who was busted open and hurt hitting the announce table during a dive to the outside, all PWInsider.com has been able to confirm is that she received stitches backstage from WWE's medical team after a match. Kairi then managed to post an update, giving a thumbs up emoji, signaling that she is okay. Whatever the case, we send our best wishes to Kairi for a speedy recovery. That looked brutal. Next up, when is Solo Sikoa vs Cody Rhodes rematch happening? And while Solo hasn't done anything to earn a #1 contender spot, he's made it clear he wants another title shot nonetheless. Sikoa continues to make life difficult for Cody by sending various Bloodline members after him, a situation that will likely force Rhodes to put the title up again. Whatever the case, it appears the match won't be happening at October's Bad Blood. On the Cody Sikoa front, from what I was told, Cody and Solo are not scheduled for Bad Blood, but they are scheduled. I don't know when the match will be. They're obviously on Friday's show. They are going to set up a match. I wouldn't be surprised, but are not told this, but they may do it on the first show on the USA Network, which would be a week from Friday. Are you guys looking forward to another Solo vs Cody match? Well, SmackDown season premiere looks like a great place to run the match, as it could set things up for Roman Reigns' return following his beatdown at the hands of Jacob Fatu. Next up, the reason for Punk's strong win in Berlin. CM Punk had a decisive win over Drew McIntyre at Bash in Berlin, and as we discussed in our analysis of the show, it was an important win for Punk in order to make his series against Drew even at one-on-one. However, there seems to be another reason for Punk's win, his WWE future. Punk made him tap out, he gave him 4 GTSs and he touched all 4 corners, with the other guy touching the corner behind him. They did tease that earlier in that match. The basic gist was Punk had not had a big win. He had been in the company since November and they felt like he needed a massive win because he's a massive star. They felt like Drew can handle it and Drew was going to get his heat back 2 days later. McIntyre didn't lose anything and the feud is hotter than ever following McIntyre dismantling Punk on Raw. Next up, WWE issues a warning to its wrestlers. What is the WWE's warning to talent during a recent all-hands-on-deck meeting? PW Insider's Mike Johnson recently reported that the WWE met with talent before Raw, reminding them to be mindful of not cursing while they're on camera. The report noted there were no specifics as to what shouldn't be said other than no cursing. It's also unclear whether the WWE is assessing how salty language will be handled once Raw airs on Netflix, and there were no censors to concern themselves with other than the self-censorship or complaints from advertisers. Cultaholic pointed out why the language policy has raised eyebrows backstage. Swearing on WWE TV has been a point of contention in 2024. A memo was distributed early 2024 that told talent not to curse, not even on social media. The Rock and other top stars, however, were able to swear as much as they please on WWE TV, and this led to frustration among the WWE roster over the perceived double standard. And you can be sure fans will be paying close attention to the WWE's content once it jumps to Raw. For now, the WWE may be simply looking to avoid any backlash from USA Network and its advertisers. Next up, Joe Tessitore scores big. That was good news for Raw's new announcer Joe Tessitore, as ESPN Sportscaster's debut is receiving plenty of praise from fans, many who feel he's a natural for pro wrestling. He was praised for his knowledge of the product, his style of working with Wade Barrett rather than playing the hackney-eyed babyface versus heel commentator game, and most of all for his passion. Fans particularly praised the Drew McIntyre CM Punk beatdown segment, noting how Joe sold it. Awful Announcing's Chris Novak broke down what worked so well here, praising Tessitore's outrage at Drew's villainy. Indignance is one aspect missing from WWE commentary for several years now. It's storytelling, which is the heart of what makes WWE and professional wrestling both successful and captivating. The legendary Ross made a career out of vilifying the bad guy's sinister ways. It's the tried and true way to help get a bad guy over, and Tessitore can hang his hat on this one for a first-timer. He nailed it. His debut wasn't perfect, and he's the first to admit, commenting after Raw, I wasn't great tonight, but I was a passionate fan tonight. Joe acknowledged what he brought to the announce booth, his passion for wrestling, the same passion shared by the WWE Universe. It's the kid who skipped school in 8th grade to go meet Big John Studd. It's the kid who was rooting against his faces to root for Paul Orndorff. That's the kid that you got tonight. What do you guys think of Joe's debut? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE helps make live events more accessible. And kudos to the WWE and the Ball Arena for making Raw more accessible to fans with hearing impairments attending the show. The Ball Arena had introduced subtitles on screens around the arena to enhance the experience for hearing impaired members of the audience. It's unknown whether other arenas have added subtitles or are working to implement them, but this is a fantastic move. And last but not least, Damian's Yeet. Now, as Raw went off the air, fans posted a video of Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest and Jey Uso celebrating in the ring following their beatdown on the Judgment Day, with Damian Priest delivering a Yeet. Now, this isn't the first time he's delivered a Yeet, as he also delivered one on a live event. But the fun moments suggest that fans could see more of the Damian J team, and the WWE hasn't forgotten about the Rhea J romance story. But there you have it, folks, our look at Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.